Elite Assembly. Step up and see flashes the ToyLeet crew. We're the kings of the game, yeah, the chosen few. From the shadows we rise with the rarest finds. Collect them, respect them, we're one of a kind. ToyLeet, ready the streets. Elite with the feats in this collectible feast. ToyLeet, never discreet. We're the heart of the beat, we're all playmates me. Check our stacks, our collection supreme. Limited editions, every collector's dream. We're the myths, we're the legends, with every drop. Taking over the block, we never stop. In the alleys where the echoes play. ToyLeet's the name, hear what we say. Rising, thriving, always vibing. In our realm we're always dropping. ToyLeet, bring the street, the lift ToyLeet. Setting the pace. With a snap of the case and a click of the lock. ToyLeet's on top and we're ready to rock. Collecting more than just toys, we're up. We're up. We're up. ToyLeet, never discreet. We're the heart of the beat, we're all playmates me. We're the tree, we're the ToyLeet. Watch the flow, cause in this zone we never admit defeat. Come for the thrill, stay for the chase. ToyLeet's in the place, set in the pace.
No audio? Yeah, there we go. Sorry, got to unmute you. I'm figuring it out, brother. How you doing, man?
Amateur.
Hey.
How many times have you done this?
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
What's up, my man?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. Can't complain. Better than I deserve. Yeah, dude. So, for those jumping in, we appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in a couple minutes late here. Maybe 1 minute late, but I just want to say welcome to ToyLeet Takeover. I got it right, and Akxion Figs.
And that's Mr. Wundrful, Travis.
And together,
we are the ToyLeet.
There we go. So, for those that are new around here, we appreciate you jump in. Those that have always come back, we appreciate you also. But just to give you kind of a rundown of what we do here every week, if we don't miss a week in between, we get together. We talk about our passion, which is plastic, and that of which is adjacent to plastic. What we mean by that is, toys. We focus on, we love our toys. We love our plastic. We like to put them on shelves. We like to let them breathe. More recently, someone like myself even likes to bring them outside. What we also like to do is focus on not Hasbro, not Mattel, those things. While they're great toys, we collect them. We like to shine the light on, independent toy lines, independent comics, stuff that's not quite mainstream. And the reason for that is, one, to bring attention to it, and two, because it's something that we've really, that's where our wallets are. So why not put our mouth where our money is, I guess, right? So
opposite where we usually go with that.
Exactly. So what we do is we talk about that stuff, and we'll talk adjacent. For me, most recently, one of the most adjacent things is I love my Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. And they recently had that Planet of the Apes movie come out, and that to me is adjacent just because it's anthropomorphic characters, and that's what's in my mind. So we'll talk about that, and we talk about our pickups. We talk about toilets. I know it's really exciting. YouTube channel you come on to, and you got two grown men talking about toys and toilets. But that's because we like to rate a new toy every week, whether it's a ToyLeet, meaning we'll put it on our shelf and we're proud of it, we're happy with it, or sometimes it gets the flush, so it becomes a toilet figure. We got a little addition to that tonight. We'll talk about, right, Ed?
That's right.
But how you been, man?
I've been doing good, man. It's been a couple crazy weeks. We had to take last week off because my daughter left for Air Force basic training. Memorial Day was Monday, so we took her up Tuesday to drop her off to leave Wednesday morning. So She just let's see what today's Tuesday. So today she's finished her first week of BMT through the Air Force. So she landed. That's all I know. She was there. So she did send me her address. So I got that. So I can write her
Good
letters. And, but other than that, just been busy trying to do some hella dope work, trying to do some of my own work, and taking lots of pics, and then still trying to find time to go out and hug some trees.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Good stuff.
How about yourself, man? I know you were sick for a while. You feeling better?
Yeah. Well, we held off last week, a little illness, but mainly because you had you were doing our country a favor by sending your one of your children down to serve for our freedoms. So we appreciate that. That was the reason we took last week off. Give Akxion a chance to take care of that. And didn't want to change up how we were doing things. But right after that, I got sick, man. Wednesday I was sick. Still worked through it. Took care of business at the 9 to 5. Everything else kind of went on pause. And then on Saturday, I ended up in the urgent care ER. Had some tests done. Follow-ups today. Some more follow-ups tomorrow. Probably a couple more next week. Right now, everything looks good. All positive things, just some additional things they want to, all positive. I don't know if that's a good thing. No, everything came back okay. So just
all the things that should be positive came back positive. Let's put it that way.
Exactly. So we're just doing some precautionary stuff and evaluating a few other things. But I feel light and day better than I did on Saturday. They stuck me with an IV, did some CAT scans and things like that. But the IV made me feel a heck of a lot better a couple days later. And I sit here before you. But life is good. Like I said, better than I deserve and no complaints considering everything.
That's right.
So let's get into it, right?
Man. Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely. So Ed, what did you get this week?
Well, I didn't really get anything this week. I did open up Big Boa from the Hella Dope Toys figures. I really get to snap to the floor. Pretty cool figure. Typical G.I. Joe fare. I mean, it's good stuff, right? Of course, and if you're a Joe fan, you're a Joe fan. But
Joe fans must be. I mean, I know that there's that Sergeant Slaughter that's going to be slugging out the.
Now that they got the Sergeant Slaughter with the boxing gloves, which are also the opposite color, which is a cool little addition, right? Because now you can say in the blue corner and in the red corner, or in the blue gloves, red gloves, right?
Most definitely.
For those who saw my Instagram where you're kicking the shit out of Quick Kick when he was tied up, he's a pretty cool figure. He's bigger than like Quick Kick, so he's nice, intimidating, but he's not like the roadblock size where he's, oversized. So good figure, good awesome. Solid figure. Him and Quick Kick. Like I said, I took some pictures of those guys for Hella Dope Toys. So if you're looking for your Joes, head on over to helladopetoys.com and grab some Joes.
Speaking of Hella Dope, can I tell you what I got this? Can I tell you what I got
this week? Tell me what
week?
you got this week.
What I got? We don't sip on things here, but what we got is I got a whole stash here. I got the whole Kazar wave. So, I don't know all the characters because I literally just opened the box, but you know why I got this, right, Ed?
I know you got it. You got it for that.
I love Savage
Zabu
stuff, right? Yeah, Zabu, man. So the Build-A-Figure. So I had to get him. I had to get the whole set here minus the Superior Iron Man. So, I got Kazar. I know that
but Superior Iron Man didn't have a Build-A-Figure piece, right?
No, yes, I skipped him because I didn't want. I wasn't buying it for the Legends. I was buying it for.
Kazar and Zabu will fit into fit into the Mythic and Savage Crucifix perfectly. So
we're gonna see some pictures with some.
You better
some Savage like
take them outside and get them dirty, man.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be attacking some horses and some lizards.
The one dude on IG posted a couple pics of that Zabu and some really awesome poses too. So he's got to have some excellent articulation. So
absolutely.
I mean, Hasbro does great. I think Hasbro does better with their damn animal articulation than half the time with the figure articulation. They really do.
Yeah. Now I'm looking forward to putting it together. I'll probably put it together after the stream tonight. And I can confirm Ted licked it. So we're good. He gave it the good old Ted licking. So
held it under the black light. Saw the DNA on there. Excellent.
Yeah. So Hella Dope shipped it. Very happy with it. My ToyLeet or ToyLeet thing in a little bit is going to be, something I received from Hella Dope also. So we'll go ahead and do that in a minute.
even when it's a pre-order.
No, dude,
there's
they're
that shit lands. I mean,
yeah.
Ted showed a picture of his porch off to me the other day after they got all that Joy Toy stuff in. You know, they
Yep.
like how many order his whole porch was just full. It was like knee deep, just boxes of Joy Toy stuff
Well,
going on.
you know, I think the analogy for me is like, you know, you see in like those movies and TV shows where there's drug dealers, right? And it matches Hella Dope's name totally because the dope's right in it, right? So like, you know, drug dealers, they get the product and they try to move that stuff as quick as possible because they don't want to get caught with it. So that's Hella Dope, right? They're getting that stuff out. They're treating
that's
it
a good marketing scheme. Maybe we can start sending out dime bags with the figure boxes with a little stamp of HDT on there.
I'm staying away from that.
It's legal in New York, so I mean, I'm good.
I'm staying away from it myself, but you know, but hey, you know, you guys do your thing over there. So hey, why don't we check in with the chat, Ed?
Yeah, let's check in with the chat. So we got quite a few people in here actually.
Awesome.
Payne is he just stopped by to say hi. He's in therapy. Said to have a good show. Roll Keeper is here. What's up, Roll Keeper? Ken from Toy Connections is stopping in on his way home. Have a good show. Thanks, Ken. Ken will be at Joe Fest coming up in a few weeks with Delta 17, and they just launched their Delta 17 exclusive figure Friday. So go check out the Delta 17 stuff.
They still gonna have that graphic novel there, Toy Ken?
I believe that they are supposed to have the graphic novel, or at least part of the comic book there. So
Ed's gonna have to have that for me.
If they do,
that.
I will be picking that up. And then we got this guy doing double duty.
That guy's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is a pretty cool guy. And Briscoe 1234 is in the house. And Derek Hoover, what's up, my man? This is comment for you since you're our song maestro. He says, I thought I left new metal behind, but damn, if y'all didn't bring me back. Joe G's in the house. What's happening, Joe? And speaking of Hella Dope Toys, there's one of the co-owners of Hella Dope Toys, Mr. Ted Darklaw.
And a member of
the ToyLeet. ToyLeet. We don't talk about that. I'd like to hear yours and Ken's. I'll have to get that taken care of for you.
Hey, it's me. I'm sleeping on your couch.
That's right. Nolan's in the house. What's happening, my man Nolan? We are now official since Nolan is here. Ted says, Travis, wishing you the best. Super kick those germs through the barbershop window. That's what we do here.
Heel turns.
My buddy's Customs. What's happening, Bud? Bud's got some great Motu customs. He's an excellent painter. Always hangs out with us on the Saturday Night Clubhouse.
Hey, pause right there for a second. Hey, Bud. If I was to get you one of these in your hands, you want to take a stab at painting it?
Bud would be good at that. Definitely. He does some amazing paint work. Ted says none of those figures are bubble wrapped. He's not buying for those amateurs at Hella Dope Toys.
Hey, just to be clear, I personally request less bubble wrap because it's more stuff I got to throw away.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be, respecting the environment and all that fun stuff.
So just let's clarify that. So Ted and Aaron, when they pack, and I know Ted's wife and Aaron's wife and all them help, when they pack and it's for just a regular customer, they will put it bubble wrapped so it arrives there minty fresh.
Yeah,
but
mainly the reason I don't.
For those of us that are regular customers, we don't care. We told them save yourselves a bubble wrap because it's going to get opened anyway. So,
yeah, to me, I always, and I just want to add this. One of the reasons I don't post the pictures online anymore of receiving the Hella Dope stuff is because I've explicitly begged for them. And at times I said, can you just take it out of the package so my wife doesn't hear me opening the shit? And, things like that. So, that's, I don't post the pictures because I don't want to do them a disservice because I know how they send it to everyone else because I don't care how banged up that box is.
That's right.
As long as the stuff broke.
Wilhelm Toy and Hobbies here from the 1-8 team. Thanks for stopping in, Will. Appreciate you. I'll be seeing him in a few weeks at Joe Fest as well. Bud says, sure. Send it and he'll paint it. Just tell me what you want.
I'm going to reach out to you on the Insta place.
Just tell me what you want done. Hey, awesome. And we got Mr. Wraith Mace here.
What's up, Wraith? I was checking out his stream the other day. I think if I'm getting it correct, he plays a lot of he's
Warhammer.
Does he stream games? Does he stream video games though?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I was checking out a video.
It's hard to keep up with Wraith. He keeps changing his show theme, but he's been stuck on the video games for the last couple weeks. So
Yeah. Awesome.
when Will says, can't wait for Joe Fest, it's going to be great. And one last thing from Ted, and then we can move on to the next segment. Here's open packages and shipping them. I'm not doing any dirty work.
Fair enough, brother. Fair enough.
Ted's thinking I'm not paying to get all that garbage hauled out of my house. So there you go.
So with that said, we're gonna let this guy do the ToyLeet or ToyLeet. No, I'm just kidding. It's not Ed. It's gonna be me. So this week I'm gonna be doing a ToyLeet ToyLeet segment on a figure that I recently received from Hello Dope Toys. Again, came great package. It was delivered. I ordered a few of these during one of their shows, and it arrived. I'll pull it up in a second. But one of the things I want to talk about is, and actually, let me bring you back up, Ed, because we were talking about this in kind of the green room. Like, what do you do when something's, and this is kind of lead to, what things are, right? What do you do when something isn't ToyLeet, like you're not putting it back up on the shelf, and you're not quite ready to flush it? And I thought, you can stick it in the drawer, maybe it goes in a bucket, maybe it goes in one of those bags, Ziploc thing. And then I thought, it's a floater. You're not ready to flush it.
A bunch of things like it's fodder, it goes in the parts bin, but stick it with the toilet theme. It's definitely a floater. It just won't go down. It's good enough not to go down. It's hanging on for dear life to the rim of the toilet, but
Yep. So with that said, we've got the Goon. Oh, let me go back up on full screen here.
I'll bring you up.
Thank you. We've got we've got the full screen here on the Goon. So again, nothing wrong. It's a Hasbro. It's what you get. I'm sure the mold has been used or something close to it's been used a dozen times. I'm not a Hasbro enthusiast, but I do like to get some figures that come with some multiple heads that can be used potentially with my Joe and my Valaverse figures if I'm doing some kind of photos or anything.
Now that guy's is that guy called the Tracksuit Mafia, or is that just the nickname the internet has given him?
I thought that's what the internet gave them. Give me 1 second, because I've got a bunch of boxes here. Oh no, it is Tracksuit Mafia. I was calling him a Goon.
Yeah.
So I guess it's the Tracksuit Mafia. I was calling him Goon. So
we call them Goon because that's what they are. They're goons.
Yeah, I don't even know it. I don't even read. So got Tracksuit Mafia. I popped the head on here for him that I liked. That's the one, but it comes with a bunch of heads. So I'll show off some of those ones real quick. You guys have probably already seen the reviews, but it comes with 3 different heads. The one that's on them right now, there's that blonde that I just showed you, and then the masked one. So I got 3 of them so that I could use a different head on each. I'll take the extra heads, throw some on some, Valaverse army builders. Came with an assortment of weapons, which I think I'm actually happier with most of the weapons than I am the figure.
Yeah, a lot of cool accessories. Plus, if you're into building like city scenes, right, you can have them getting attacked by, Captain America or whoever, right? I mean,
thought this was cool. This is awesome. Probably the piece that, like, in my opinion, likely saved it from being flushed, right? Because there wasn't anything wrong with the figure, but there was nothing that's shelf worthy. But I thought this was really cool with the Molotov cocktail. So there's all that. Came with a crowbar, which I thought was cool. So I can honestly see myself taking a couple of these crowbars, throwing them in my wrestling rings area.
Oh yeah,
and using it with those because these will fit with those for sure, and even the golf club. So again, not ToyLeet, not getting the ultimate flush for the toilet, but most definitely just kind of being a floater. So we got our first floater for the ToyLeet ToyLeet. Yeah, and like we said, we're going to talk about some stuff. And I think I forgot to mention this earlier. We don't just talk, independent toys and news regarding that, but we always have a topic, right? So, we got a topic. And what I'll do is I'll actually pull that up real quick. This week, we have the key topic of the show, which is from plastic to panels. It's, top toy comic crossovers. And this, to be honest and clear, isn't the top toy comic crossovers ever for that we've graded. It's ones that we like and we're interested in that we think are the cool ones.
It's our top toy.
Exactly. And when we get through, when we kind of get through some of those, when we were discussing this, because we bring these topics to light, we discuss them offline together and kind of bounce around things. And this kind of went from just the top toy comic crossovers to another piece, which we'll talk about at the end of the main segment there. So let's just go ahead and give you guys this.
From plastic to panels, the heroes take the stage. ToyLeet Takeover, here, let's turn another page. Animal warriors, raw kingdoms, brave and bold. G.I. Joe on the front line, stories to be told. Savage Wundrful's might, action force takes flight. Turbo power ignites from the space night. Toys and comics merging where legends come alive. Akxion Figs and Mr. Wundrful, let's dive. Top toy to comic crossovers. Join us for the ride. ToyLeet's got the scoop. It's gonna be a sight. So like, subscribe, and join the show. ToyLeet Takeover, let's go, go, go. So like, subscribe, join the show. ToyLeet Takeover, let's go, go, go.
Awesome. So with that said, that's the topic we'll talk about a little bit later. Let's go through the standard operating procedure here of the show. Shout out from the Crick. This is you, Ed.
Shout out from the Crick this week goes to, drum roll, please, Fat Red Foo. So Fat Red Foo is not, he does not have a YouTube channel as far as like putting on content or anything or doing lives yet. Hopefully someday he will, but he is a great guy in the community. He's been in Hella Dope, of course. Everybody's heard him talk about in Hella Dope, and in hangs out with me in Radnom stream on Friday nights. Is always joining in on the Saturday Night Clubhouse, and he is a 1/18th guy for life. And he's currently building basically a whole city diorama, kind of a steampunk, cyberpunk type of vibe to it, with some custom figures and stuff that he's been doing. So really cool work. He does a lot of what we call trash bashing, where he takes, bottle caps or, oddball things you just find around the house, instead of throwing it all in the trash, he upcycles it and makes dioramas with it. So really cool stuff. So go on over to Fat Red Foo on Instagram and give him a follow.
Is that would they be like called Griblies or Greblies or something like that?
Yep, exactly. Greeblies.
Awesome. Greenleys or something. I couldn't remember the terminology. But yeah, no, Fat Red's always in the chat. He's always participating. Real good person. I know he was just at or around 200 when we decided to put him in this week. So if you haven't followed him on Instagram, go give him a follow. Definitely puts out some cool content. May give you some ideas for all of those pill bottles or bottle caps you got floating around in the house and such.
Yep, a lot of good trash bashing over there. He's he just started. I mean, like within the last year or so, actually doing the dials and the custom painting. So
I love this one right here. The stuff here that he has on the screen.
Yeah, he's got those tubes on.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, he's got those tubes on the one building he made that actually got LEDs in them that light up. Pretty cool stuff that he's doing. So
yeah, he's an interesting one to follow for sure for me, because as I've gotten into the 1/18th and really think the world building aspect is really cool, especially when you're someone who doesn't take stuff outside, you kind of got to deviate to a smaller scale. But now that I go outside, I got a whole bunch of world out there that I can world build with. So yeah, no, this is cool stuff. Thank you.
And he gets to talk to the trees and heal your body with earthing. So you lay on the ground, it helps you out, man.
Awesome. And thank you, Fat Red, for being a part of the community, always chatting with everybody and just being an overall good soul out there. Take it easy, brother.
Absolutely.
Cool. Weekly news brought to you by Mr. Wundrful. So just trying new things, man. Just trying new things.
Now reporting live from the news desk.
Yeah, so hold on. We just got something. One of the things that Ed and you and I were talking, right? Occasionally, take a step back. Where we talk about weekly news, we're not going to dig into a ton of the mainstream stuff. We talk about the beginning. We like to talk independent toys. We like to, that's where our money's going. So that's where our mouth is talking about. So we're going to continue to talk about that. A lot of these things are upstarts, Kickstarters, things like that, right? Concepts that come from someone in the community or, that left maybe one of the bigger firms and, started something of their own. But again, a lot of times these things go to Kickstarter to get promoted. We're going to speak about these things. Most cases, we don't know the folks that are, producing these things. So we're not promoting them in the sense that we're saying, go back these, we're promoting them just to get eyes on it. If it's something you're interested in, back it and stuff at your own, your own risk and your own decision. I'll tell you if I'm backing it, but just because I'm or Ed's backing something doesn't mean that, we're, telling you, hey, this is a guarantee to occur. Something could fail, it's beyond our control. But, just don't hold us liable or give us crap about it, right? Like, we're just trying to talk about stuff that we think's cool. So, you know, just take it, you know, for what it is, and it's just information that we're sharing.
And remember, when you're backing a Kickstarter, you're investing in that business. So, you know, there's Kickstarters that fail. There's Kickstarters that actually fund and still fail afterwards with the person actually trying, right? Sometimes it just fails. It's a business. Sometimes people are shitty and they run away with your money, but that's, you know, we're not telling you where to invest your money is what we're saying. You know, you invest your money where you want to invest it. So
Exactly. So we just want to kind of kick that off because we do have, you know, new banners almost every week, and some of them, you know, could be adjacent to toys, could be a comic, may never get delivered. You know, again, not telling you to support it. We support independent stuff that we find interesting. I've lost money on Kickstarters. Fortunately, it's never been on one of the toys or comic books that I've been interested in. It was on an AI driven doggy door that was supposed to, and I know you're laughing, every one of you is laughing, an AI doggy door. I didn't want to have to put a collar on my dogs, and I wanted a computer to read their faces, and I thought it'd be cool if they could walk through a door when it read their face.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, you have a robotic vacuum and a robotic lawnmower, and all your house is wired to be controlled by your phone. So,
and I have a robot mop and a pool vacuum.
Oh yeah, and a pool cleaner. Yeah. That's right. So,
and I'm working
on
an
AI. If you told me you actually had an AI doggy door, I would not be surprised one bit at all.
So I did back that and I lost that. But again, you know, kick back at your own risk, right? So that's kind of what it is. Right. But you can always tune in here to hear what our opinions and thoughts on it, and any information we have, we'll be glad to share that. But yeah, so weekly news, new banner here for our show, Creative Beast Studio. These guys are the ones that have are working on the Beast of the Mesozoic and Cyberzoic, I believe. And they recently posted some images that I thought were cool, which leads to some of the stuff that I got this week. Look at that freaking saber tooth, right? Whatever it is. Yeah. They called it something else, probably more of like
the something.
It was like Smilodon or something. I don't know. I can't pronounce it, and I'm not sure if I was, you know, wording it correctly, but I thought the thing looked really cool, very dynamic posing. Definitely go check their Instagram out because the photos that they had, I didn't post all of them, but this is a get for me for sure. I'm most definitely going to snag one of these, maybe two of them, because they will go really good with my Savage Crucible and my Masters of the Universe 7-inch scale figures work really good with that. So I'm really excited for that. They look freaking cool. Masterverse, thank you. And then I snagged the picture that they had for the T-Rex. It looked like attacking. So some early physical figures. I do know that the teeth on the Sabretooth look to be translucent. They did confirm that the final product will not have translucent teeth. So disappointing for some fans, I'm sure. But
some people really like that.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. I'll definitely be keeping this one on the radar because I'm definitely going to order one of those at least. And I guess when I was talking to, I think it was Brick, because I think he knows a little bit about these. He had mentioned that there's like a 1/18 scale on some of the figures, and some are 1/12, and this is one that is the 1/12. So
yes,
definitely an opportunity to provide.
Can you imagine having two Sabretooths, having this guy and Sabu? Jeez, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, or three.
Yeah.
I'm wondering the scale comparison. I want to see them next to each other, because this one looks. Or
even taking like a 1/18 figure and using those 1/12 cats as a mount. That'd be bad.
Yeah, that would be cool. But this one, the articulation on it, like you can have it in a full sitting pose. Yeah. They had showed pictures where it was just sitting on its four legs there, you know, and it's really, really cool. I'm excited for that for sure. I want to see it once it gets produced, but I'll definitely be getting one of them, and we'll see if it ends up in the toilet or on the shelf. I'm confident it'll end up on the shelf and then in the bag that my son carries to the backyard, and we take pictures with it. So that's likely to be the case. The next on the news is Savage Crucible. So they were at a toy convention over the weekend, and they were displaying some of their Wave 2 characters, which, you know me, I got like 6 more boxes of my Wave 1 stuff that I need to open. But as you've seen some of the pictures on my Instagram and stuff, and even some of the videos we have here, I've already, dived deep into Savage Crucible. But they did just send out an update with these images and such. They have Wave 1 Pre-sales are being shipped as of April 1st. And then the I believe orders for Wave 1 placed on or after April 1st from their website will begin shipping on June 5th. So tomorrow they should be shipping out more. And then
hold on a second. Go back one screen. I just want to talk about the thing real quick because we had a couple comments that I missed because I was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but it's okay. I just want to cover it while we still got it on topic. So Derek says an all black Smilodon or Smilodon, however they say it, would be pretty badass. That definitely would. And Brick says their latest live stream shows this in hand to better judge its size. They look great. Also showed the Arctic Dragon prototype. Gorgeous.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, Brick. Thanks.
Yeah, I guess there's a black one coming, all black. So that'll be cool. So I'll definitely be snagging a couple of those from the sounds of it. But with regards to the Savage Crucible, they have their pre-sale orders that were placed on or after the 1st of April. This website is shipping them tomorrow, June 5th, and then the in-stock sale for Wave 1 is estimated to ship around the 14th. With Wave 2 open pre-orders estimated around the end of June, around the 28th or so. And then what I'm really excited about, because I've already got my orders in, is that they're expecting the second half of 2024 for the Wave 2. So we could be potentially seeing that Wave 1 and Wave 2 all in 2024, which would be freaking awesome. If you're telling me I'm going to have these before Christmas, I'm going to be freaking happy. So
you won't need to ask for anything from Santa Claus.
Exactly. Yeah. So very excited around the Savage Crucible. And then they also did, I think on like the second day, I saw some photos and a video of Nashurin, the Disinherited paint master that they had at the Comic Palooza. And he looks cool. So he's part of Wave 2.
Yeah, he looks badass.
And man, I'm excited. That looks freaking awesome. Definitely a cool character. And just goes to the articulation, if it's going to be anything like what we've seen with the lizards, the Lemurians, whatever, and additionally, the details there, the paintings there. It's just going to continue to force other independent toy lines to continue to up their game, which I'm excited for.
Yes.
So this is definitely a welcoming line for me. So that's what I got on Savage this week. The next toy line is Patriot Force. A couple quick updates there. June 22nd, I believe, is the date for the Kickstarter here. They announced that these 4 figures, which I've shown in previous shows in the news updates, these are going to be the 4 base offerings as part of the kind of initial funding, but they do have some stretch goals that I've mentioned. I did get a couple other pictures here of one of the other figures. I think this is one of the main, this is not one of the main 4, sorry. So this, I believe, is Jason Redman. Come with 2 different heads. And then you can see I always like to grab that comparison shot because, again, what's cool about the Patriot Force is they're creating, action figures of actual servicemen from the U.S. military, which is awesome. This is a cool looking figure. Another one that if you're into the Joes or the Valaverse figures and you're in even Monster Force, you may use some fillers. And what's cool is you get unique head sculpts, you get unique armor and different weapons. So really cool set here, and they come with these dog tags, it looks like, too. So very excited for this.
Cool stuff.
Definitely be keeping my eye on this towards the end of the month. Got a few more weeks before that goes live. What else we got here?
So real quick,
Valaverse.
Largo says Patriot Force looks really good. So it's looking good. And like Travis just said, the cool thing is it's really honoring real life, military dudes. So
exactly. Yeah, that is pretty cool to me. Like that to me in itself, like they had me at that with the figures and everything. So Valaverse made an announcement, just kind of a preview. Saw this. This looks so familiar, like it's something I've seen before. I don't know where I've seen something like this from.
So I had a conversation with Punk about the same thing. Him and I both racked our brains too, because it's like this star with the eagle head looks so familiar. And I don't know if it was from a G.I. Joe cartoon or comic book or something else along those lines. But yeah, totally looks familiar from something. So
yeah, so this isn't an exclusive. It hasn't been announced as an exclusive for the DFW show, but my understanding from the post from Valaverse was that this is going to be discussed during the panel on Sunday morning of DFW. Which, man, I hope there's a way to see that live because I really want to see what he's announcing. And we know we got Wave 5 getting ready to go on pre-order. I know it was delayed a little bit this week, but I know that their plan is to have Wave 5, which is supposed to be the new Bucks. And I'm definitely going to order some Bucks there from Hello Dope once those go on sale. Myself, very excited to get those. And I want to see what's next, right? We've seen, they've come so far over the course of the last 24 months.
Yeah.
But we have seen a lot of reuse, which I'm not complaining about reuse. I get it. A lot of these smaller companies do it. I support it to a degree, but I'm excited to see what he does next because, the ball's in his court. He's done well with a lot of stuff. So it'll be exciting to see what he brings to the table because we know him coming out with product has upped the game of our Joes. Joe's up the game. We saw that today. So what does he do next to up his game to that next level? And then we know that's going to have a circling effect to the Joes. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Atlas's new bigger buck because A, it's a bigger buck, and B, he kind of just reminds you of someone that you'd see out in the woods, and that's take all my pictures. So
oh, absolutely, man. I could see him throwing Pale off of a rock,
right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Be freaking cool. So that's a
doing
updates
like
on Valaverse.
Doing like a Roman Reigns spear on him, taking him over a cliff or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The next news item I'm going to leave to you to run so I can sip of water, Ed. This is your wheelhouse.
I don't know nothing about these guys.
Oh, crap. Who knows about this?
Nobody knows about this.
So
Monster Force, yeah, looking forward to it. From Fresh Monkey Fiction. These should be released sometime after Joe Fest, probably looking like August timeframe. Yes, they're late from what they originally planned, but they're a small company trying to do it, and bigger companies get to take their places sometimes in the factories and stuff. So on the far right, we got Declan Van Helsing, which is one of the main characters. He belongs to the Van Helsing Monster Hunter family from old, yes. And then he brings back Dracula, who you see down there on the bottom, to life to fight the evil pharaoh and his minion of undead troopers, which is what one of the guys up at the top is.
Nice. I got a couple more pictures on the next slide here of some initial concept art, I believe, or concept renders. So I think you got Count Iron Moon here, along with Crimson Moon Troopers. You've got Major Nor and Crimson Moon Legionnaire. Again, some cool. I like that guy, Major Nor. Ed, you familiar with him? I may have lost Ed. I'm going to keep rolling. And then
so series 1.
We're losing you, Ed. You've been in and out, brother. We've got Wolfsbane here.
So
and sorry, Ed, you back?
Yep, I'm back. Sorry.
Awesome. No, you're good, man.
So this line, the Crimson Moon, is separate from Monster Force.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Holy crap. I didn't even know it.
Yep. Yep. Although they do have werewolves, they are actually separate from the Monster Force line. That's a new line they're coming out with. This shouldn't be out until the end of 2025. But
man,
as I was saying with Monster Force, Gridiron Toys has since the first couple of figures been designing their weapons, so that'll be a good bonus to that. And they should start shipping the first couple of figures by the end of the summer. So
okay,
and then they just announced
different.
Yep, they just announced this Crimson Moon line, which is basically the old Palatoy Action Force figures. If you take all the figures they got out here and mix and match them together, you can get Bear and Ironblood and all these other guys that were part of the Palatoy Action Force back in the 80s.
Oh man, see, and you said you didn't know anything about this crap. You just taught me something. I just saw the awesome pictures and was like, I really like this Count Iron Moon, and more importantly, I love this Major Noir or whatever his name is.
Major Noir.
Cool. Yeah, he looks awesome.
I mean, these figures, Monster Force are set at like $36. These are going for $38. But I mean, you're getting weapons, so many extra hands, so many extra heads. They are double jointed. They scale perfectly with with the Joes and with the Valiverse figures. I mean, just awesome stuff, right? And yeah, everybody's just going to mix these in with their Monster Force, right? And they have a stretch goal of a hooded figure, and I can't think of his name, but the hooded figure looks just like Cobra Commander.
I saw that.
So that's a stretch goal. And yesterday, I think last night, they only needed like 750 more units to sell. So these are on pre-order at the Big Bad Toy Store, the Big Bad Toy Store down the street. So yeah.
These are cool. I didn't realize that. That's cool insight into this line. Yep. One question I have for you is Gridiron doing their weapons?
Yes, Gridiron's doing all the weapon designs. This AK-47 that comes with the Legionnaire is actually Gridiron's first AK-47 design.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Good deal.
The only difference is that Gridiron isn't producing these. The designs are getting actually injection molded or whatever. Okay. And so it's not going to be Gridiron 3D print quality stuff that you get.
Right. So just like the Monster Force stuff, it's all being factory made. It's just being designed and tooled by them or whatever.
Yeah, like this case that comes with Wolfsbane is one of Gridiron's old design cases.
That's cool. That is a character that I am most definitely going to order is Wolfsbane. There's a few of these characters I really like. I love the coloring and stuff, so it's cool to know what it is and get a little bit more lore behind it.
I put a pre-order in on all of them. I mean, it's not till the end of 2025, so I mean, I got plenty of time to worry about that. That's a future ed problem.
Cool, good deal. The next item I'm not going to spend too much time on, but I do want to give an update and respect them. Four Horsemen. A lot of people have been talking about these guys since Friday. Ed, you were on the show with Brick on Friday, and Oz talking quite a bit about these. I was in the chat. They announced the Ashes of Agbendor wave that went on sale that day. I think right after the show ended or whatever, around 8:30 or something. And they're running that until June 30th.
Yes, June 30th is the cutoff. June 30th, 11 p.m. Eastern time. So don't wait till midnight because you'll miss it. June 30th, 11 p.m. That gives them time to tally up the numbers
or wait until 12 o'clock and then realize you got to go to Hella Dope Toys and buy it.
Right, exactly.
And you can still get it. You're just gonna pay a little bit more. And that's just how it works, right? If you don't pre-order from the Legions,
Mythic, the Four Horsemen are trying to get these out within that 12-month window. And they've been late on the last couple of shipments, so they're really trying hard. A lot of these parts are reused, just repainted, redecoed, whatever. So June 30th it ends, and hopefully we'll have them in hand by next June. If you want to see some good coverage of it, Brick, Oz, and I did a show on Friday night during the stream of the Four Horsemen's announcement. So there's that you can go watch. And also after our show, Let's Go Off-World podcast, which you can find on YouTube also, had an after party show to discuss this. So lots of information out there about it. And Trevor 16 Shooter did all the images and stuff, so you can check him out on IG.
Yeah. And I think they said Q2 2025 is the expected ship date. And they said that there's my understanding is that the wave includes 3 updated version 2 figures, new figures like the Jagulian and Angel, some sub races like Frost Org and the Shadow Centaur, and the Goblin 2-pack, right? So quite a bit.
A lot of these figures are, since a lot of it's reused, they're coming with a ton of accessories and stuff. So, you can actually buy 3 of the Jaguars and build 3 different figures with that same character. So,
I think the one that I want, and the preview video, the preview photo that I use doesn't show it, is the Frost Ogre other head sculpt. That thing looks awesome.
Oh yeah, that's the one I
totally see myself using that. That is likely the one that I will end up getting. Likely the only one that I feel the need to get out of this series.
There's 3 on here that I really cool. There's 3 to 4 that I really want, but I don't need all 10. So
exactly, but if you do want all 10, go get them from the All In on.
Again, we got till next June, so you can always pre-order after June 30th. They'll go live on all their retailers like Hella Dope Toys, and you can go pre-order from them. So
exactly. Absolutely. Good deal. On to the next thing is Ramen Toys. I know I've seen some boxes delivered and shipped on these, so that's a good thing on some different items. One of the things I'll give an update on is that they announced their exclusive Joe Fest limited edition tank, Desert Scheme tank, intended for the 1/12 scale figures. So thought this looks cool. They got a bunch of other photos and such on their Instagram. So if you want to check out and get more details as far as the way this thing looks with some figures inside, it looks cool. A little bigger than I'm looking for in my 112 stuff. Just because
one thing to note, he's calling this an exclusive, but this will be run just like his Aces of Aviation at PowerCon last year, where he'll give you a QR code to scan to go to Ramen's site and get the exclusive product and event pricing. It's still a pre-order through Ramen Toys website,
right? You're not picking it up on the show,
right? You're not getting an actual exclusive vehicle at the show, because
exactly. Yep.
Just to clear that up.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, it's a pre-sale item, but it's exclusive. You're some exclusive limited edition things that are offered to you as an attendee of the Joe Fest. And he also provided an update recently on the ramen racers. The final batch of the graphite black ramen races are shipping next week. I believe it's next week. I'm hoping I don't have my timings missing here. But then the white tiger, I'm sorry, the tiger orange ramen racer will ship the second week of June.
Yep.
And then shipping takes 6 to 8 weeks or so after the payment has been made. So the expectation is those should be coming here shortly. And I would expect folks to start seeing those before the end of the summer, which is cool. So excited to see Ramen, another smaller, folk that's individual who's in the community, right? I've had some discussions with him around some things for myself. I know he discusses things with a lot of different folks within the community. Mega J and Mad Hatter. So excited to see Ramen Toys continue to grow. The next one here is Let's Get Brutal or Brutal Realms. I still haven't found a better image. Once I find one, I will use it. But this is the Brutal Realm, which is a forthcoming Kickstarter. They released a couple images. Brutal Realms Cronin. They had a bunch of different images here. I'm pretty sure this is a 3D printed version, but it gives you a look and feel of what they have coming as far as the Kickstarter offerings. More importantly, though, not much has changed there, but more importantly was some of the images that our friend Brick shared with us, which are some early kind of not sketch, but prototype art, concept art of a potential female buck.
Yeah, and let's just take a quick moment to pause and shout out to Brick for the awesome comic book designed cover for this picture. Right, awesome job, Brick.
Yeah, no, he did awesome on this. I love that approach. I love the brick something. I love the old school comic look to it and everything. The work that goes into that's awesome. But yeah, he was nice enough to let us share this. So thank you, Brick. And Brutal Realm looking like they're going to cross into some females. So I'll keep my eye on this. I'm becoming more and more intrigued with the Brutal Realm.
There's a couple of figures right now that I'm looking at that I'm interested in. Probably not an all-in, but definitely a couple hand-packed figures.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, depending on the pricing and what it's looking like, definitely something I will be adding some things to my collection to at least try it out. Right. I like what they're trying to do, and the line seems to align with a lot of my fantasy collection stuff right now. So and another female concept art here that Brick shared with us, and again another cool cover that he created. Again, Brick's awesome at that, very talented, and appreciate you sharing that with us. But that's what we have for the news this week, Ed.
Yes.
Why don't we hit up the chat real quick?
Yeah, we got a ton of stuff in the chat, so bear with me. So Ray, to answer your question, he does Joy Toy Warhammer 40K video games, and he does the video. That's the toys he does, Joy Toy Warhammer 40K.
I want to ask Ray this: are you gonna get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Joy Toys?
He only sticks to Warhammer 40K. He does not do any other Joy Toy.
Okay, gotcha.
So Oz is in the house. What's up, Oz? And I know Hyperdelic is probably gone already because I saw he said he had to take off because he had something else going on. But Hyperdelic, thanks for stopping in. Always appreciate you coming by, man. Everybody in talking. Brickster, of course, is here because we brought him up already. But hey, fam. If you were going to flush something, I'm glad it's something I'm sold out of. That's what Ted says.
That's great.
Yeah, Hyper said he would just want to say hi. He had to go do a cable review. So have a great stream. Thanks, Hyper. Appreciate that. We need a fully choreographed music videos of these stat. I don't know which one he's talking about, but I think Brick's talking about
all of our videos where we do the previews. He's talking about like having each one of them have like a choreographed music video.
Oh,
for
we
each
could
one.
do that. No problem.
Something, maybe. Who knows?
I got my I got my MC Hammer pants from high school still.
I'll get my daughter, the all-star cheerleader who has like dance competition stuff.
Yeah,
I'll get her to
there you go.
choreograph them each for us, and we'll do the video to the song.
And in typical Brick fashion, Ted says, I was in my kitchen literally just praising your thumbnail graphic design skills. And he said his name too many times because every time you bring up AWOC or Brick, Adam and Brick just magically show up somehow. Allison Troy's here. Greetings. Thanks for coming by, Allison. Why the disclaimer? Did someone get mad that you recommended Spaceballs? Yes, actually.
No. Lord Ludi called me and said he's sick and tired of hearing about Star Wars. He's sick of it. He's sick of that new thing on Disney.
We got asked from the source. That's all we can say.
Yeah.
Mr. Largo's here. What's up, Jim? Greetings.
Hey, Jim.
I prefer to hold you both accountable for all my financial failures. That's all right, Ted. We'll take it from you. We'll take it for you.
Hey, I mean, with as much financial struggle as you guys have given me,
yeah, exactly.
You know, it's mutually appreciated.
Yeah. Robert's Infinite Realms. What's up, Robert?
Hey, Rob. Thanks for jumping in.
Let's see. Oz says this. This is for you. This is how droid slavery started at Travis's house.
I'm also known as John Connor.
Yeah, and Brick says he bets his robot vacuum is cooler than yours.
I mean, we can talk, dude. Mine has a camera on it, so it tells me when there's things. It sends me images on my phone and says, "Is this a permanent obstacle, or will this be removed next time?" So that it knows whether it should vacuum the next spot or not.
Nice.
I'm just saying. And it unloads itself. I don't have to unload it. It goes back to its base and it unloads itself to a bag for me. Nice. So I mean, and they're named after named as Alice, in reference to Brady Bunch. Nice. And what's the other one? Alice and Rosie. Yeah. Yep, the other one's Rosie. Yep.
So Ted, thank you. Yeah, Ed and Travis are killing it tonight. Show some love and leave a like. Thank you. Fresco's asking about the G.I. Joe movie. We'll discuss that some other time when we get a little more news. They just kind of announced that there's going to be a G.I. Joe Transformers live action movie.
We kind of knew that was going to happen based on the preview from the Transformers movie, which was awesome, even if I was the only one that watched it.
Yeah. Chris Helmsworth is having some kind of role in there.
I did hear that.
And Frankie's here. What's up, Frankie?
What's up, buddy? Great photographer right there.
Yep. Fresh Monkey did not acknowledge me in Cato's stream, and now we have a blood feud. But I'm going to feel really bad about it because these figures look amazing. Yeah. And I love this comment from Ted. When you see an action figure and ask yourself, could I pull off an eye patch? And Joe says this about the Four Horsemen, of course. The Mythic Legions. Yeah. Looking forward to those. I can't imagine that, Joe. Lots of different comments in here. And talking. Oh, Todd C's here. Welcome, Todd. What's going on, my man? And that is it for the chat. Wait, hold on. Travis has a vacuum that poops.
I mean, I guess it kind of could be considered.
And Brick admits your vacuum is cooler. Oh. Mine looks cooler.
Yours probably does. Yeah. Mine doesn't look
beat
cool.
That. Yeah.
No, that is cool. That's awesome. Good deal. Cool. So we're caught up on the chat.
Hey, one last comment. Big badonk babe. Speaking about the Brutal Realm chicks. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. So the next thing here. Little preview.
From plastic to panels, the heroes take the stage. ToyLeet Takeover, let's turn another page. Animal warriors, raw kingdoms, brave and bold. G.I. Joe on the front line, stories to be told. Savage crucibles, mind, action, takes fight. Turbo power ignites from the space night. Toys and comics merging where legends come alive. Akxion Figs and Mr. Wundrful, let's dive. Top toy to comic crossovers. Join us for the ride. ToyLeet's got the scoop. It's gonna be a sight. So let's subscribe and join the show. ToyLeet Takeover. Let's go, go, go. So like, subscribe, join the show. ToyLeet Takeover. Let's go, go, go.
So that's
Every time I hear that
little...
song, I can just picture you sitting at your desk with the little tiny keyboard, just making those little piano notes and stuff in there. Good stuff, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I thought that was a cool one.
Your two boys singing back up with your daughter, right? Singing all the vocals.
You don't want me to sing. This voice is only good.
That's why I said your boys and your daughter.
Oh yeah. So this is the topic. The main topic here is, from plastic to panels, the toys to comic crossovers. Again, this isn't, Ed, Akxion Figs, or me, Mr. Wundrful, claiming that these are the best. This is our view of what is currently some of the items that we think are the coolest, right? Yes. These are the ones that we like. And we want to kind of discuss, where they've done good, what they brought from a toy to a comic or a comic to a toy, and kind of how that crossovers happen. We're not talking cartoons. We're not talking movies. We're just talking paper to plastic.
That's right.
Plastic to paper.
Yeah. So, if you think about it, you could go in forever with, Batman and all, DC and Marvel and all Marvel toys, right? I mean, so this is kind of a lot of ones that were modern ones that we're kind of focused on right now that are really cool and just have awesome, figures to go along with comics. So,
yeah. Sorry, I just read Ted's comment. That's a good one. It's only good for cutting promos. Exactly. Right. It's only good for heel turns, to be honest.
That's right.
So the first one here, it's been around for a long time, right? And we know
many iterations of it, right?
Exactly. The many iterations of G.I. Joe. I'm gonna let you run this one. You're a Joe guy.
Yeah. So Joe's, Joe's been around since the 60s, and even back in the 60s, a lot of people don't know this, but Joe had little pamphlets and comic books that were actually like a single comic book page where they kind of gave kids ideas what to do with the new products they were releasing, whether it was a Winter Trooper out uniform or something like that, right? And that kind of evolved into a Super Joe theme, which was basically really more superhero-based G.I. Joe. And then they launched the Real American Hero, and one of the things that came out of the Real American Hero was the comic book, which Larry Hama, really created. And Larry Hama's a great guy. I mean, I got to sit down with Larry Hama for, I don't know, I sat and talked to him probably for about an hour at a con one time behind his table, and just, he showed me pictures of the real life guys that he based some of the characters on that he was in Vietnam with and stuff like that. So,
wow.
But there's also a new Kickstarter coming out for G.I. Joe, that G.I. Joe compendium that's coming out. So I think that launches this week sometime for Joe June, which covers a lot of the old comic books and all the like the mission files and all the little side comic book stories that came out.
So to be clear on that, I just want to take a step back. Are you talking about the G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero compendium set?
Yes.
That is already live. 21 days ago.
Oh,
$1.7 million already funded, and 4,847 backers funded in 6 minutes from when it went live. So you are getting that compendium. I was going to give some news on that because that's adjacent, right? But that is a really cool set.
And what's the buy-in on that?
I got to check it out, but it's done by Skybound, so it's a reputable company.
Yeah, definitely.
I think to get the compendium one, it's $30. To get the Hall of Heroes, which is the larger, I haven't read too much on it, but like $50 for the next tier. To the next tier, it's like $75 for the Destro one. To get, I'm gonna scroll all the way down and find like the all-in piece, right?
Yeah,
like there's an all-in. Oh, there was a Snake Eyes. So
while you're doing that, I'm just gonna bring this up real quick.
Yep.
So tonight, Punk's son had his commencement for graduation from high school. So congrats to you and your son, Punk.
Yes, sir.
Much love to you guys. Hopefully he does something with it.
Yeah. There's like a his tank, which is like $600, and it comes with a bunch of stuff. So that's like the most expensive one, with all the way down to $25. I'd have to double check what it is.
Yeah.
But it's coming.
That book is big enough to take out a fucking grizzly bear with. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Jeez, that thing is huge.
Yeah, it is big. It's big. So there's a bunch. I think maybe what it is, maybe I misunderstood it, but maybe it's one one series, but you can
I
get
think you
either
get one
the.
book, and you can either choose a blue one for Joe or a red one for Cobra. I
That's
think
what it
is what
looks
it
like.
is. Yeah,
That's what I'm seeing.
or if you're crazy, you can go for both.
Yeah, if you're a major collector, but
But the cool
they.
thing is, it's got all the original comics and then all the little side arcs that they did.
Oh, that's
So it's
cool.
not just the main line. It's got all the little side missions and stuff that they did. So
Okay.
really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, going back to what you're saying, right, is they have a ton of stuff. And in the most recent rendition of the
Yep.
toys, you've got these classifieds, which they had the Yo Joe June stream
Yeah.
this morning. And you saw some of the newer stuff coming,
Yep.
but they've done a great job. And I didn't read the comics as a kid. I was a cartoon guy because of Sergeant Slaughter and wrestling.
Yep.
But to me, I went and picked up this GI Joe book because of Chad and Jeremy over
Jeremy,
there.
yep.
We're working on the Joe's on Joe's stream there, which is on hold or whatnot for now. But I got this and started reading. I love it. It's a really good read.
Yep.
For me,
Yeah, the modern day, like IDW and the modern day Joe stuff it's more directed for like adult readers, where the one back in the 80s was kind of adult theme, but it was still along the lines of the cartoon, where it was still a little bit, 80s comic book vine, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean,
But like in the
and,
newer ones, like they go into some like real deep, relationships and death and all sorts of stuff, right? It's not your kid's comic book.
exactly. And being honest, most of the comics that we're going to talk about tonight aren't your kids' comics.
Right, exactly.
But the toys can be used by the kids, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I love the fact that Joe gives you something. And this goes back to something we've talked about before, Ed, you and I, maybe online or on stream or off. But, one of the things for me is I love a toy that I can collect. I can add my own world and my own mind to, but also that has something that preps me up on it. And I like iterations. I like to see, continuation and whatnot for the streams so that I can, enjoy that ongoing, story, right?
Yeah. And this pick here is of the Big Bow that I just got from Hella Dope Toys. And as Ted affectionately calls him, because somebody else named him this, he is called Major Nipples because his nipples are painted quite so they stick out. Like you can, it's kind of like the bat nipples on the Batman suit, right? They painted them so they really stick out. So
Yep. Absolutely. Good deal. And then if we go on to the next one, I'll talk a little bit about this one. And this is Akxion Force, right? And this is a recent one within the last 24 months or so, give or take. Akxion Force came out with the mission files. And I think this is a copy of the graphic novel where they grouped a bunch of the stories together. And I enjoyed it because I like the lore. I like this. Yeah. It's kind of modern day twist to, the Akxion Force, the Vala, took that IP and kind of went his own route with it. Right. And I love it. They had the California fall off Earth.
Yeah. I picked this up at PowerCon. Actually, when I picked it up, Bobby autographed it for me. So
that's awesome.
I haven't even read it yet because it's been sitting in with all my other PowerCon stickers and books and stuff that I picked up that I've never even got into. But something I definitely want to read. On a side note with this, if you really want to get into the lore with the comic books and the file cards, Largo and Wilhelm Toy and Hobby on Largo's channel do that ATF 3 or whatever they're calling it. I think it's ATF 3, where they dive into the comic book and the file card lore and of each
and
character.
The book. And the book.
Yep. And they go right along with all the characters and stuff. So that's a really cool little add-on if anybody's interested in the lore.
Yeah, and to me, I love it because Carrick and Bone Collector, you get that story of them, and then more specifically, Carrick, you get some previews into his stuff. So for me, I enjoy it because it's got that modern. I don't want to say. I mean, it's post-apocalyptic to a degree.
Yep.
But it's modern and it gives more that adult theme to it, right?
Yep.
To me, it's something that I feel like I could see in a present movie. Something that I would watch in the theater and stuff. So
it's going to be interesting to see when Bobby does actually get his Akxion Force movie out, if it ever does come to fruition, which I know he's been working on it for a while now. But how much of the comic book is actually going to be part of that storyline? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. how much the actual lore
Yeah.
that we've been exposed to applies to the actual movie would be really it'd be interesting because I love the lore that we've heard, but you've seen that they've pivoted on some of what he originally, even with Bone Collector, some things have changed, and how he works. So this is a great comic book series. I'm looking forward to seeing more come from it because we have Wave 5 coming. There's some characters we haven't heard of or seen. You also have
AF3. That's what it's called. AF3, not AFT3. So there you go.
Yep. And then you have you have what he's going to be announcing at DFW, and I'm assuming that you're going to get more characters, more history and lore. So I'm looking forward to it. Good comic book read. I've read every single one of the individual comics, the paperback ones that I have. That I got when they had them online when I first found the toy line. But it helped me dive into the toy line even more, where I'm kind of like, Joe, Valiverse, or Action Force, like which one do I like more? Like I really connected to the Action Force story because I thought it was cool. So for me, that stuff like is really cool. And I think it really helps sell the product on both platforms, right? Both the paper and the plastic. The next one we have here, big one that comes close to my heart. We already talked about these guys a little bit earlier.
I'll let you cover this one completely, man. This is your baby.
Yeah. So Savage Crucible. I got the graphic novel as part of the Kickstarter. Basically, right after the Kickstarter funded, the comic came. I kept opening the comic because I'm like, I can't wait till these Savage Crucible figures come out, and I kept falling asleep, because I wait until it was late at night. I would wait till it was late at night. I'd be sitting in bed, it'd be after the wife was ready to fall asleep, and turn off a TV or whatever. And I'm like, I'm gonna start reading. I get through like a page or two, and I was like, And then right before you and I kicked this stream off and really started the ToyLeet Takeover, I kind of was just like, you know what? I'm gonna read that book, and I read it, cover to cover, and I've read it twice since then. It is an awesome novel, a graphic novel. The story is really cool. It really leaves you wanting more, but it really kind of helped me go from February, March time this year until a couple weeks ago when I got my Lemurians in and got my Como and Neil Vineyard, whatever his name is, and the Royal Guards and all that stuff. It is a really cool IP, and the comic does a great job selling the product. I'm really looking forward to Wave 2 because you have one of the main characters in the graphic novel that is going to be part of Wave 2. And then what I believe, if I understand it correctly, the next graphic novel that they're coming out with, or next comic associated with it, is going to be around what's his name? He's kind of like that dog looking person from Wave 2, and I can't think of what his Jaeger.
Yeah, that guy.
So
looks awesome.
it's gonna be around him, and he's one of the cool looking figures that I'm really pumped for. So it'll be interesting to see when that comic comes out, because I want to see that story and background on it. So again, really, really cool series. Toy's awesome. You're seeing it all over Instagram if you follow them even slightly.
Yep.
What a joke.
I mean, I haven't read the comics yet, but the figures are really sweet. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see the comics, because these guys don't have an actual, like G.I. Joe, I'm kind of familiar with. Action Force, I'm familiar with because I got the figures and I know some of the background on it, right? But like Savage Crucible, other than looking at the pretty plastic, I really have no reference to the characters, right?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, I'm gonna have to package up. I'm gonna order another one because I want to get it graded and put it. I saw it graded at the convention photos they had from last weekend. I saw somebody had like a 9.8 graded copy on the table. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have to get one of those graded just to put on the wall, to have this entire collection. Yeah. Yep. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to order another one. So what I'll do is I'll send you out this one to read. You send this one back to me when you get that D17 one down at Joe Fest. Yep. And you can take a read at this one, and then I'll have the one that I'm getting back that's graded to put in the case, because you can see I've read this one. The next one I don't want to.
You don't even want to crease it.
Yeah, I don't even want to crease it because I love this line. I love what Rob's doing over there at Savage Crucible, Havenger Studios. It's just such a cool community, and they're doing great stuff. Like I said, every day I go on Instagram, my Instagram is flooded with Savage Crucible fixtures. The photographers are doing awesome with that. So this is a situation where I feel like, again, the comic maybe hopefully they do what the next guys that we're going to talk about do and keep driving it forward.
Yep.
And the next guys are my other favorite,
Yep.
AWOC. And do you have any of their comics yet, Ed?
I don't have any of their comics.
Oh my goodness, brother. So these guys,
So
they
the
have
problem I have with the AWOC comic book is that I have such a lore built up in my head just surrounding Planet of the Apes and all the anthropomorphic storylines in my head that I don't want to ruin that by reading the comic and be like, oh, I didn't know that about that character, you know, because it's kind of like when you see a cool character for like a movie promotion or something, right? And then they do the movie and it's like not at all what you had in your head, right? It's like, ugh.
Yeah. No,
You know?
I understand that. These are great. These are great comics. They've recently got themselves tied up with Diamond Distribution. So if it is something you're looking for, go hit up your local comic book shop and pay a few bucks and get a comic. If you're anywhere in the area here, hit me up on Instagram. I order 3 of these a month, one for my youngest son, Son of Wonder, and then I order one for myself that I haven't read, and then I order a third one that I leave in the comic book shop, so that the comic book shop owner, 1, makes an extra sale, and 2, gives that issue out to new folks so that they can, you know, find the lore and then maybe find the toy line, hopefully helping spread Spiro's product there. And I want to Brick just said this, and I want to show this real quick. Do you mind pulling that one up I just starred?
Yeah, hold on.
It says I need issue 6.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, Brick, I don't like you anymore because what you're implying there is you've already seen issue 5 and I haven't, and it's not public yet, and I don't want to pull any strings or beg and plead and grovel at you, Adam, or Jason's feet, or Derek, or Ed, any of you guys, and beg and plead for access to issue 5. I will wait until my comic book store gets it. But it's so not cool advertising that you're looking forward to issue number 6 when some of us lowly groundswellers are just sitting here at comic 4. But this is a cool one. We know I love AWOC. Double back the newest Kickstarter. Love that they do great stuff. Okay. Maybe Ed, or maybe Brick, I don't dislike you so much anymore. Yes, but you still have seen book 5 that I still haven't seen. So you have that over me. That said, really cool lore. I love Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Jason crafting this whole concept in his head. I never followed the original 4-inch line. I know he did some stuff with the lore there. I believe my understanding is he pivoted quite a bit to a degree with the 6-inch scale ones. And I love everything he's done with it. It's great. I have utmost faith in what he's bringing forward for that comic. And as you can see, the toys that are coming, they're doing each other a big favor. And if they cross promote both, I can only see bigger and better things for him.
Yep.
Good deal. And yes, what Brick just said there with Utama's art is some glorious stuff. Yep. The artist for the Animal Warriors Kingdom, I follow him on Instagram. His art is amazing, whether it's the AWOC stuff or the other stuff he's working on. He is awesome. Go give him a follow because the work he does is great. And again, support a real artist, support anything associated with AWOCs. The next one here, Ed, I think that everyone in the chat can talk about, because I'm pretty confident everyone in the chat has a license to sell this product. In this chat, anywhere in the US, heck, in Canada and in China, everyone has access, except
pretty much if you have a favorite toy company, they probably have the license for Ninja Turtle.
Except for Hasbro and Valaverse at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Joy Toy has them now, and I think that was like the last one.
Joy Toy, Mezco, NECA,
exactly.
Playmates.
So
Mattel got their Masters of the Universe toy turtle crossover. So yeah, pretty much everybody.
Yeah. So you have the Last Ronin here. That's the most recent one that comes to my mind, more adult oriented. And then you have the Last Ronin figures from NECA, got a darker look and feel to it. I think
cool thing is the the story, I don't know if you've read this comic, but the
I
story,
have.
the story is great, and they're actually doing a live action movie coming out soon
I
based on
saw
this
that,
comic.
and I
So,
think they're doing a prequel comic to it, or
yep,
already have, right?
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I don't know if
looking
that one's
forward to
out
it.
yet, but I know it was in the works anyway. I don't know about it. I read this one a couple years back, and man, I was just blown away by this. This whole story was just so much what, as a kid watching the Turtles, because I was kind of too old for that toy line to get into it.
Yep.
But the movies were out. Like, I went on a date in my freshman year with a girl, and I took her to see the first Turtles movie. You know, I was in ninth grade, and so it was like, seeing that live action, and then like seeing this story was just like so much of what I wanted the Turtles to be, because it was so much, you know, darker and grittier. You know, that
Are you
type
talking
of,
about the original live action?
yeah, the original live
Oh
action. Like,
yeah, yeah,
you
it's a
know,
great movie.
yeah,
I
and
still
then
remember every Christmas for like 3 years in a row, or 2 years at least, getting the original one Christmas, and then like the year or two later getting it on VHS for The Secret of the Ooze, and it being like one of
yeah,
the biggest gifts we could get for Christmas was getting
yeah,
those movies.
yeah. But then
But
like reading this comic book, you know, it was just like when I saw the original movie, then I read this comic book. It was like, that's what I want Turtles to be, just this dark, gritty, you know, really, really cool, you know, story. And
well,
they did this story so well. I mean, the Turtles are cool in every iteration they come out in, right? All the
yeah,
movies have been enjoyable. All the toy lines are great, but this comic book was just amazing, and the figures that
yeah.
are being made for it are just incredible too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's kind of why I saved this one for what we're presenting as the last. There's a couple things we'll talk about after this before we wrap up the main topic. But this one here to me wasn't so much just the Last Ronin, it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IP as a whole.
Yep.
And it's paper to plastic, plastic to paper, right? And the idea that they have, and it goes back to how we entered it, everyone has access to the IP. I think Fat Red is, delivering something in a couple months. Teenage
Probably.
Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm pretty sure Rhea, who just joined, is probably doing this too. But in regards to this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, from when I was a kid, and you got the little plastic green men that were, what are they, like maybe 5.5 inches, give or take. And
Yeah,
you could
something
pop the
like that.
back open and stuff some weapons in there, and you had all of those, and they to me, they are the bar when it comes to comic to plastic, because they've crossed generations. Outside of GI Joe, they've crossed generations since that time frame in the 80s, 90s, when they started coming out, and we're sitting here in 2024, and we're
Yeah,
talking about
realistically, I mean,
Last Ronin.
outside of GI Joe and Barbie, I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is probably one of the longest. Well, Motu also, right?
Well,
But
yeah, yep,
they fall in the top 5 longest lasting toy lines. And the crazy thing is like with the Turtles, they just come back the same, right? And new kids are actually getting into the Turtles, which is cool, because a lot of
yep,
like GI Joe and Motu and stuff like that, it's the old guys that are still into it, right? It's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
nostalgia thing. Where Turtles come out, and it's like, I was just in Walmart yesterday, or what is today, Tuesday? Yeah, so it was yesterday. I was in Walmart, and there was 2 young kids standing in the turtle, section, just thumbing through, looking for, whatever figures they're looking for, right? Probably
yep,
8, 10 years old. It was like, that is awesome, right? It's like,
exactly. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Ed, what what other plastic to panels to plastic, that we didn't add here to the slides, did you think of?
so let's just pop this one up, because this has got some good ones in it.
Oh
Micronauts,
yeah,
Shogun Warriors, Sectars. Those were some of my favorite comic book toy crossover promotions. Now, some of those ended up being, like Sectars became a cartoon, but along this lines, you had Chris Starr from Marvel, who was originally a comic book character, turned into a toy line and then a cartoon. Really cool figures. Marvel Legends just released that new figure recently of that one. And then Rom, the Space Knight, was an awesome comic book. They ended up making like this robot action figure, kind of like, you wind it up and it does whatever it does, right? Those are both pretty cool ones that I remember from, my childhood. And it's like, like we said in the beginning, you could go on forever about all the other ones, like all the superhero ones and everything, right? But
yep,
like the ones that we named are probably like the most common ones that are in today's world that are just, making the lore enjoyable again.
Yeah.
For a lack of a better way of doing it, right? They've taken a lot of the 80s campiness out of it and made it into like really, good stories with some depth and some, different perspective, as opposed to just, oh, this guy's always going to be the hero no matter what, right?
Yeah, and that's a good point as you're saying that, right? They've taken some of that campiness and stuff away from it, but also, an example is, and I've said this before on other streams, is Savage Crucible is your adult
Mm-hmm.
targeted audience, right? And Brick said it earlier in the chat. He loved that comic, or liked the comic, because of the fact that it felt like the Savage Crucible, and the idea behind it. You could bring any character of any world into it because of the way the whole thing works,
Right.
or we don't know how it works yet, right? But it gives you
Yeah.
this idea that anything could be there. But going to the point is that it's more adult centric. The toys, even themselves, to a degree, are more adult centric. They're darker, they're more gritty. And then you have the Animal Warriors, the Kingdom, which has done a great job of kind of covering what I think. I always use the example, Mr. Wundrful and Son of Wonder can both engage with the AWOCs. He uses the Savage Crucible, but I don't quite, think he would be just yet interested into that darker, grittier story of the Crucible.
I can see AWOC doing something like the Turtles, right? They have the more general audience focus, and then they could definitely do a grittier comic like The Last Ronin. They could do something along those lines because the characters have the depth for it. But Jason doesn't want to take his line there now, right? And that's all respect to him, because his stories, the characters that he's developing and stuff are awesome anyway. So he doesn't have to at this point. But yeah, it's definitely a good line for, for father and son bonding ultimately.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and you can hand him the plastic. I'm not worried about him breaking it. The only idiot that's broken one of my AWOCs is this idiot right here.
Yep.
and I've replaced it. And that was my own fault,
all because he didn't ask his partner in crime, or go to the Brick and Adam show and find out how to take it apart.
Which I do know now how to do, and I can do it much more effectively. Thank you very much, gentlemen. That said, Ed, there's a lot of things that have gone from panel to plastic to panel. But one thing, as we were digging into this over the last couple of weeks, and we had a little bit longer because we had the break last week, we were going back and forth and chatting about it, is the topic kind of evolved a little bit for us as we were talking about it, to a degree, right? It was not just plastic to panels to plastic, but it's plastic that doesn't yet have a panel or a significant presence on the panel. And that was kind of where we started talking about what toy lines that we kind of talk about right now, or that we're focusing in on from the independent toy lines, those independent creators that aren't delivering a graphic novel, a panel, a comic consistently, or investing time in it that would truly benefit from it. And the one that came to my mind the most was the Four Horsemen's Mythic Legion. You could probably do something really freaking badass and cool with the Cosmic Legions too, since you're so early into that. But the Four Horsemen on their Mythic Legions have such a wide range of lore and stuff. And I know they're working on some novels and things like that. And I do know, and it was brought to my attention the other day during a stream, that they do have in their Cabal a graphic novel or some lore comic PDF that you can download and review or read and such, that gives you a little insight, but it's not consistent. And what I mean by consistent is they haven't reproduced additional
it's kind of like
episodes.
Fresh Monkey Fiction with their Monster Force. So they released a comic book last year that had some comic book pages, right, that just had like a brief part of the story. And in the comic book itself, it had a bunch of like characters and their bios, right? They are in development of a comic book for that figure line, as well as their Eagle Force line, but they're not out yet. And one thing I was telling you during our conversations is that even like I started collecting AWOC, and it's only been recently, not recently, but probably last year at PowerCon, after I started collecting the figures when they first came out, that I even knew that there was a comic attached to them. I think a lot of these companies could do a lot better at promoting the comics and the figures more maybe in sync with each other, so that that's out there, right? I mean, like The Last Ronin was a comic book that was developed, and then the figures came later, right? But it was based off the Turtles. But like Sparrow, that comic book, everybody that's read it loves it. But
absolutely,
I didn't even know it existed, right? I didn't know there was that kind of lore to it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So the ones that we discussed that are on the lower end, right? And what I mean by lower end is more independent, Vala, Savage, and Kingdom. Those three are independent producers, right? Like they're not Joe and they're not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so they're not publicly acknowledged by a large consumer base, right? So
Right.
that how do you get in front of that consumer base?
Yep.
Cross promote, get that diamond deal. I don't know all the behind it. I know it's a whole nother branch and wing of your business, but I think like Spiro, I think they're headed in the right direction. I don't know what that cost or took them to do, but they're doing it right. I don't know if there's another way to do it. Self-produce it, self-publish it, add it to your inventory on your site and distribute it on your own. But Four Horsemen,
yeah,
they had a graphic novel, and Joe, he's a huge, I saw him in the chat commenting, he's a huge fan of Four Horsemen. I think he has everything in doubles and triples and whatever on Four Horsemen figures.
The thing is, though, it's so easy nowadays to create a digital comic. Not that it's easy, but I'm saying like there's no publishing and there's no, sending it out, right? The physical copy, right?
Right.
That even someone like Mythic Legions with the internet presence, social media,
with their cabal
they have, they could easily put out a digital comic book and sell it for $1 an issue or whatever, and still make a fortune on just selling that digital copy for $1.
I do believe so. I do believe there's a market there, and I think that that dollars are being lost by not producing that. And then Four Horsemen comes to my thought process at the top of my head because they're the biggest ones with a large cult following that produces a great plastic, but we need to get that shiny pictured paper that expands the lore and blows that thing up, because that will
like you're
put
gonna
them over.
You're gonna see something probably at some point, but like a lot of those companies that are coming out now with the Kickstarters, Eagle Force, Monster Force, Fist, right? They're coming out with, I don't know if their comics are going to be digital or if there's actually going to be physical copies, but they got comic book panels they're creating, right? So it's kind of like the new way to skip the whole animation cartoon thing, but still give that lore back in a format that's digestible.
Yeah, it eliminates the need to put a Saturday morning commercial on for your kids sitting in front of a bowl of cereal to get that comic book in somebody's hand on their screen, whatever it is, so that they can explore the lore, which then allows them to start to muster up their own ideas. At the
end of the day, comic books are great for kids because they're enjoyable to read. And they can learn how to read at the same time. I know Thanos Copter talks about it all the time, that he learned how to read by his mom reading the mini comics that came with his Masters of the Universe figures. I mean, that's
awesome.
I mean, that's just awesome. It, right? They're great for kids and they're great to learn the lore. If you get ones that's not, adult oriented, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great point to close off on the main topic tonight. We will cover, some of the questions here in a minute in the chat. But before we do that, let's talk about next week, because next week is going to be a new show, a new episode. We're going to do a little different. We're going to bring some guests on. We are not naming names. We're not dropping names right now, but we're going to have some guests. It's going to be a little different show. We're still going to, you're still going to find out if something gets flushed, floated, or put on the ToyLeet and put on your shelf. We're still going to give you the weekly news. Might be a brief, more brief news segment and whatnot. But and we'll have the main topic. The main topic for next week is Yo Joe June, the Ultimate GI Joe Celebration Special. And what we're doing is we're bringing in 4 guests. Well, 3 guests.
3 guests in a regular.
Ed isn't hosting the show anymore. Ed is going to be a guest, so he's one of the guests. And what we're bringing in is 4 folks. I'm going to act as a panel host. We're going to have all 4 guests on. We've got some questions, some conversation points. Want to talk about all the different scales. Each one of the guests typically has been a Joe fan for life, and each one of them aligns with a specific Joe scale for the most part. They all kind of cross across, but have their preferences too. And yes, it will be officially known as Fat Red said, Travis Takeover. It is Yo Joe June, and we'll have those guests in. We'll have a panel.
What he meant to say is the Travis Leet Takeover is what he really meant.
I like it. So we'll go ahead and we'll go through that. So tune in next week. check out the next episode here, and we'll be going over the Ultimate G.I. Joe celebration in preparation for Joe Fest. We know we got DFW coming up and Joe Fest later this month. We know it's, Joe June. They kicked it off with Hasbro today with all their announcements. So we'll be talking Joe in the main topic, and really talking to some attendees of the upcoming Joe Fest later this month. So definitely tune in, and we'll be taking chat comments. We'll be, letting folks ask questions, but we got a few special guests. The first time we're having guests on the show, and see if I can talk less and listen more. 2 ears, one mouth.
Oh, that's going to be a challenge for you.
Oh, freaking yes, it is. That said, Ed, I'm going to toss it over to you to hit up the chat.
All right. So during our news and our coverage section, Mr. Punk stopped by. Like I said, he was at his son's commencement graduation. So congrats again, Punk, and for you and your boy. Red Bricks comment. Derek Hoover, Larry Hama is a guy I want to interview bad. Joe's and Bucky O'Hare. I want to ask him what inspired him to make Cover Girl from my hometown. He's a cool guy to talk to. Like I said, I talked to him probably for about an hour at a con, sitting with him and just showing me pictures on his phone of his personal photos and stuff was just amazing. And he was drawing art while I was sitting there right there with him, talking to him and stuff. So cool guy to sit down and talk to. Shout this out as we're talking about the comic books. Quentin J. Bell, who was on Hella Dope Toy Show 3 weeks ago now, I want to say, right? 3 or 4 weeks ago.
It's been a little bit, but he's amazing artist. Amazing artist.
He's the guy that came up with the action farce, and he also is the coiner of the Major Nipples name. So we covered AF3, which is Largo's and Wilhelm's show that they do where they cover the lore for the Action Force. Silver Velocity 1988 is here. Dude doesn't understand anything correctly. I'm not sure who he's talking to, but
he's talking about me.
Is this?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Much love to the ToyLeet stream. Okay.
He's Marty Jannetty, guys. That's Marty Jannetty.
Oh, right, that's your Marty Jannetty. That's
Marty
Does
Jannetty.
Does he need to be kicked through a windshield or window?
He's done it. He's been tossed through the windshield a number of times.
Okay, good. As long as you've taught him a lesson. Ed, stick with your lore. The comics are great, but toys are for world building. And I love that you have your own world with AWOC. Yep. Let's see. Fat Red Foo finally showed up. Fat Red, you missed our shout out to you, brother. We shouted your IG out, so you weren't here yet. I know you've been traveling, probably got back yesterday or the day before that from your vacation. Hope that was good up in the mountains where I'd love to be. So hopefully you had a good trip. And yes, we definitely shouted your IG out. So hopefully you'll get some more followers from that. Brick. AWOC update. We're currently at 393,883 out of the 410 to unlock Mamba. Hurry up and back another one, Travis.
No. Hurry up and back $16,000 worth of AWOC already.
Yeah, right.
I'm opening up a store, I guess, at this point.
Radnom is here. What's up, Radnom? And Raya Black. Hey, Mr. Akxion Figs and Mr. Wundrful and everybody in the chat. And see, he knows what he's talking about. So I like this guy already. Action knows his shit. You don't know shit, and I know my shit.
Exactly.
Somebody please bring back Rom the Space Knight. I know they said something about possibly making a new comic book launch for him. And I haven't seen anything updated on that yet. But yeah, that would be awesome. The Space Knight was awesome. Back to the guy that's insulting you. They try to reboot it every few years between the animated series and the movies. Michael Bay movies sucked. I'm guessing he's talking about either the Turtles or Transformers. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the Turtles.
And shiny plastic people's here. Hey, everybody, just finish up the Acolyte. What's happening, Chris? Thanks for popping in, man. Chris is a good guy. Anybody that's interested in like DC stuff, Chris has a lot of really cool videos on the DC multiverse and superpowers and all that fun stuff.
Is Chris the one I met at PowerCon, I think?
No.
Okay, I'm mixing him up with somebody else. Okay.
He's been on the Saturday Night Clubhouse with us.
Maybe that's where it is. Maybe that's where it is.
He's the guy that does the hair flip and does all the cool things with this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Japanese got us beat. Comic books, cartoons, and toys appeal to so many different demographics. And as a result, they're always making toys of all sorts of comic-based properties. Yes. And that's why Ted and I asked you the question that we asked you the other day. And Chris says, yeah, it's true. Americans tend to box all those things into being for kids. Yep. Joe G, 4-H needs a comic book series 100%. The old comic isn't considered canon anymore. I didn't know they even had one, so that's good to know. Right now, maybe sell a comic figure pack like they used to back in the day. Yeah, that'd be cool. That's kind of what McFarlane tries to do with his page punchers, where you get a figure and a comic book tied together. But
yeah, Shiny People Plastic said that right here too. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Nate Barch could do comic book covers. It'd be great. Nate Barch's art is amazing. Jeff from Skunk Works, thanks for coming in, brother. Happy to see you. Let's see. I don't know what to think of the current Joe state, but damn Crimson Moon and Operation Monster Force are hot. Yes, 100% agree, brother. 100% agree. And again, the ToyLeet Takeover next Tuesday. And Silver Velocity 1988 says he still hasn't gotten a guest invite yet.
We haven't had any guests.
Matt Red did just cross over 200 IG followers within the last week, so shout out to him again. If you haven't gone over to IG and checked out Fat Red Food stuff, does some great 1/18th world building and customizing and trash bashing. So you want some ideas on what to do with some of your recyclables to upcycle them into your toys? He's got all the ideas you need.
Good deal.
And we are caught up through the chat, brother.
Awesome, man. Good deal, Ed. It's been a good show this week. I'm really happy with it,
man. Thanks for everybody stopping in and chatting in the chat and hanging out and enjoying us ramble.
Absolutely. And again, thank you everyone who tunes in every week. Keep a lookout for next week. And this week we'll be posting some advertisements of the guests that we will have on next week's show. I think we'll have all of the guests announced by Thursday or Friday this week. Looking forward to having the folks on for the panel again. Be the normal show for a chunk of it. Still, I mean, the show is normal. It's just our main topic approach is going to be a little different. And it's going to be focused on the G.I. Joe celebration. So please, guys, tune in. In closing, I do want to tell people, stick around if you want to hear the new outro.
That's right.
But remember this, let your toys breathe, do this. Toys on the desk, it's the new habitat. ToyLeet Takeover, we're loving that. It's a stack high in the air where it's at. Everywhere's a playground for Mr. Wundrful. In the office, living room, let them breathe. Akxion Figs hit the trail through the mud and undersail. It's the ToyLeet life. Beyond the shelf we prevail. Face with Hexas that we own the space. From battle seeds to epic quests, our collection's always at its best. Hexas stack high in the air where it's at. Everywhere's a playground for Mr. Wundrful. In the office, living room, let them breathe. Akxion Figs hit the trail through the mud and undersail. It's a ToyLeet life. Beyond the shelf we prevail. So like, subscribe, and join our crew. Check us on Instagram, we've got news for you. Back the stack, it's when dreams come true. ToyLeet Takeover, we're here for you. Thanks for tuning in, feel the vibe. Toys in our world come alive. Next week, same time, don't miss the ride. For ToyLeet Takeover, the fun's worldwide. Wanna take over, stay in the flow. We'll see you next week, hope you enjoyed the show.